uprising. It's are you mental?
But I think you have to. You've got to separate Hamas from the Palestinians, right?
But the Palestinians elected Hamas.
Yeah. Okay. I accept that, right? They did. But if you say I was Palestinian, I wouldn't bother voting, right? Let's be honest. A lot of them probably didn't bother voting, and they don't even know what they're voting for, right? They kind of do.
I think people.
But they don't deserve to be indiscriminately bombed and targeted by Israel.
I don't know. I think if the stakes work, you might get indiscriminately bombed by Israel. Then wouldn't you take more interest in politics?
No. Welcome to another episode of the Three Speech Podcast. I'm the mad lad at Jihad, joined today by Mr. Hate Speech himself, aka Controlled Opposition. It's Mr. Leo Curse.
Get jabbed, get boosted 7 times.
And in the Make-A-Wish Foundation, come true. We've got fan of the pod, Tom, who you can listen to the Patreon episode to find out more about him. He's turned up. He's brought us a bottle of whiskey. We've invited him on the pod. So what? Welcome to the pod. You are today's Nico and Justin all rolled into one.
You've already spoken more than Nico normally does.
Thank you.
Yeah. How's your skincare regime?
Terrible.
Terrible. Good.
Got a
Right.
zit right on my nose.
To welcome you to the pod, we're going to do a celebratory gash bomb.
Yeah.
So Leo's got to do headliners tonight. So tune in on Wednesday night to see Leo drunk on air.
I'm not drunk.
He might be.
I'm
after
not
this.
doing another gash bomb.
Do
either.
the gash bomb.
I'm not doing a fucking
we'll drink
gash
down
bomb.
the whiskey then.
You said you were going to do the whiskey.
I'll drink some whiskey, but I'm not drinking a fucking gash bomb.
So gash bombs get you more drunk than just whiskey.
I've got to go to the gym.
I'm going to the gym. You work out better when you're drunk. You can't feel the pain.
I noticed that actually. You know when the gym's
That's
open
scientific.
again after lockdown, the gym's open and cause we went to the pub because the pub's opened again. So I had like all these pints, and then I was like, well, the gym's open, so I'm going to the gym. And then I went to the gym, and it was great. I could lift so much.
That's pre-workout.
Mike Tyson says do mushrooms before you go to the gym,
Right.
and it's the best workout you'll ever have.
No way.
But he says don't get it so you're tripping balls.
Yeah.
But just below that,
Like
Microdose.
and then go to the gym.
microdose.
Remember when I microdosed
A little
LSD?
bit more than microdose.
A microdose.
When I microdosed LSD, then went to the doctors, but I was tripping balls.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, "Your heart rate's really elevated. And we don't know what the matter with you is." And I had to that I was freaking out. All right, let's do the gash bomb.
Do a gash bomb. There we go. Is it horrible? You drank all that whiskey?
Yeah,
You're gonna be smashed because
Yeah.
you're
Have a
not
good
somebody who can
workout.
like drink.
I know. That's really nice
down
whiskey.
myself.
It's really nice whiskey. Yeah.
Thank you for
It's quite
bringing that.
different. It's called Stampede.
Yeah, you want to give him a shout out?
Shout out to the spirit of the Canadian West, Stampede beer,
Yeah.
Whiskey.
whiskey. You know, I invented the
My name's Tom, not Mark, as well.
one of my greatest ever trolls. I was working for Beck's and I did a April Fool's Day saying they were releasing protein beer, and it went viral and people thought
Really?
you could get it. And now they've actually invented protein beer.
No way.
And I invented it in the day. I'm going to see if I
Because
can.
this is funny, like Darius. Because when I met you, you had like 6,000 Twitter followers or something. I was like, how's Darius so like got so many Twitter followers? And it's because you were the marketing person for Beck's.
And then I stole their account.
Right when social media and all that stuff came out, so they just got like some random like kid off the street to do it. It was Darius. And then and you were doing all that. Now it's like they've got agencies and they put millions of pounds into it and make it all boring and stuff. But then when you left the job doing the marketing for Beck's,
I
you
took it with me.
You took the Twitter handle with you.
But actually, it was always based on my thing, but I never really used it. I actually, in
Right.
hindsight, if I'd have done it properly, I could have built that up properly.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about it at the time.
Story of
Well,
your
yeah,
life.
your best troll was the I don't care if this plane's going down.
Oh no, that is my
got
best.
I've got a helicopter.
Yeah.
That is my best troll.
That
Anyway,
was it. That was his bit last night.
That's my bit last night. Listen, today's podcast, we are going to be talking about the ongoing situation in Israel, Palestine. We're going to talk about all the repercussions of what's happening in Israel and Palestine. Might touch on the Canada's podcast registration because you're here. I don't know if you've heard about that. There's a world sugar shortage. So what? It's another benefit to climate change, really, if you think about it. Because if you're not eating sugar, you're getting Beachbody ready for all the nice weather.
Yeah. Sugar's a poison.
It is a point. Did you see the story about the social justice activist Ryan Carson? He was stabbed to death by a person of color with his girlfriend, and she refused to identify his killer.
Quite right. She doesn't want to look racist.
That's right.
Now
That's
she set sorry to interrupt. She set up a GoFundMe for the family of the stabber.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Apparently.
That's what he
I
gets
saw-
for going out with someone with pink hair. Let that be a lesson.
I saw that, like, because the friends of Ryan Carson, and there's been a spate of, like, sort of social justice warriors who are all like, you know, BLM, blah, 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 then getting stabbed. Or there's that, another one, a tech venture funding person, Pevi Lapere or something, I can't remember her name, but she was all like, she was always calling out all these companies for not having enough representation of diversity and all that sort of stuff. And then she invited there's this guy who'd just done a rape and a murder and burnt these people, and he followed her into her flat, and she like let him in and stuff because she didn't want to look racist, and then
Tailgated her.
Yeah, she ended up dead. There's been a spate of them. There's been a few of them, and so this guy Ryan Carson, apparently his mates set up a GoFundMe. I didn't hear about this one for the stabber's family, but his mates set up.
Have you seen the video? What
GoFundMe?
happened?
Yeah, I saw the. Oh man, no, it's not. The bit where he hits the bench. He like turns around and walks into the bench.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you
is
haven't seen it, man.
Very
It's-
shitty situational.
It's a horrible situation. But man, he like most of the damage is done by that bench, man. It's like it's brutal.
What happened? Tell the thing.
Oh, so basically, him and his girlfriend are waiting at the bus, waiting for the bus, and this guy walks along. The stabber walks by, and then for some reason, like Ryan goes up to sort of talk to him. I don't know if he thinks he can like talk him
Hey,
out.
let's
whatever.
rap.
Yeah.
Hey,
He
kid,
pulls up a
let's-
chair and
let's
puts the
rap.
back in. With
Let's rap.
My name's Michelle Pfeiffer. And,
What's going on? But I don't know what happened with the. I saw that, but what happened with the bench? He fell into the bench.
then
when
so
he was running away.
But then the guy's like trying to break into a car or whatever, and Ryan's all like, "Hey man, you know,
You can turn
do
your
you
life
need to
around.
talk about your feelings to me or whatever?" And the guy turns around, he's got a knife and stuff, and then like so, like Ryan turns around and like tries to run away, but he's standing right next to this bench. So he turns around and runs and immediately falls, like face plants onto this bench, and it looks, man, because it's one of those ones, you know, they got like the handrests each, so he like,
Oh yeah.
man, he really eats the bench. It's horrible.
Yeah, but that's not gonna kill you though.
It didn't kill him, but you know
That's what stopped him in his tracks.
that's what stopped.
But then
him
he
in his
got
tracks.
stabbed
After.
after.
Then he got stabbed. You know, while his girlfriend's standing right there. And yeah, but then his friends set up a GoFundMe, being all like, "Oh, Ryan's been killed, and you know this is very traumatic for us. So can you please donate money so that we can, you know, deal with it and take time off work and maybe go to Magaluf and all
We
this."
should donate. We should give a donation. £3, £5. What's that? Our Patreon is. That's man, and they don't feel any kind of. But his girlfriend stood there and then wouldn't identify, and now because of that,
Yeah.
his girlfriend wouldn't identify him. It looks like he won't. The killer will not be prosecuted because there's no eye evidence witness.
Eye
Says-
evidence
Well,
witness.
there's no eyewitness evidence. Eyewitness, that's the right order. There's no eyewitness. Too many gash bombs. There's no eyewitness evidence, so he might
Right.
walk away. So not only is due to her fucking deranged social justice, because black people won't like this fucking guy either. They're gonna
Yeah.
think this is a fucking cunt. They're not gonna. Oh, he's a fucking representative of all black people. They'll hate him as well.
That's the racism of the left.
That is racism, because now what's gonna happen? He's gonna get away with it. First of all, you let your boyfriend die. You've let that. You haven't even tried to avenge him. Then he's gonna be free to do that again to
Yeah.
someone else. And if he's willing to kill someone and he gets away with it, why is he gonna stop next time?
Just encouraging, it's encouraging it to happen more, and especially with it being such a public case. It's nuts, and the sort of emboldenment of criminals. We've seen crime, especially violent crime, rising. Man, it's horrible.
What would you do if you were murdered as a social justice activist, and then your missus refused to identify?
Oh, he's probably.
Would you be secretly happy, or would you be furious?
He's in purgatory, being like, "Oh my God, no! This poor disenfranchised man. Like, please, don't take any action. Oh, don't talk to the police, aka B or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
he's not
ACAB.
spinning in his grave. He's jerking off in his grave.
Yeah,
He probably enjoys it.
yeah. To hentai porn.
The hentai, they love hentai porn. Well, I guess then in that case, we've addressed that story then.
But you know, it's kind of related to the Israel-Palestine thing.
How so?
Well, because all the reasons that his girlfriend won't talk to the police, won't identify him, all these things. She's all like, they've got all these words like decolonization, systemic oppression, and all this bullshit. White supremacy. They got all these like bullshit terms that they use to justify not grassing up somebody who's stabbed somebody. And that's the same bullshit they're using. All the leftists are coming out on social media and being like, well, Hamas are justified because they're decolonizing, and it's the same woke fucking nonsense.
So I said this. I'm pro-Palestine. We've had this argument before on the podcast. But Hamas are not the Palestinians. But the fact that they can support the Palestinians is an example of like how shit Palestinian PR is. Like, how can you go out and be like, oh yeah, go on, Hamas did a good job? It's like, are you mental?
Yeah.
This does not look good for anyone, right? So yeah, it's
but then for wokeists, it does look good. They think this is great because, man, that's how powerful ideology is. Remember, ideology leads to the deaths of like millions of people. Like under communism, like people believed in this goal, this ideal that you could never get to. It's like whatever his name, Christopher Hitchens or whatever, said it's it's a mirage that you go to across a river of blood.
I think
like a
it's
scratch
Peter
card.
Hitchens.
Huh?
Was it Peter Hitchens? Or was it? He said
I
that.
think it was Christopher. I'm not sure.
Utopia.
It might have been.
Utopia.
It might have been Bette Midler. I'm not sure.
Fact check us.
Utopia can only be traveled to over
A sea of
an
blood.
ocean of blood or a sea of
And you
blood,
never get
and you
there.
never get there.
I like that you went, is it? Now let me tell you the actual quote that I know off verbatim.
Remember fantasy football?
I read it recently.
Fantasy football league at Stato.
Yeah.
That's
You're
you're
the stato today. You're
Who's
stato.
Stato?
Doesn't matter. Just keep shaving your head for the Make-A-Wish.
Somebody who knew all the stats, so they could turn around and they get all.
Well,
what's
the quote? What's the quote?
just
Utopia
said
is
it.
only reached on a sea.
Utopia can only be, not even reached. Utopia can only be traveled to over a sea of blood, and you never reach it.
Yeah. Good quote. I
I
made
think
that.
it was
That's
Peter Hitchens.
That's
Right.
Darius Davies.
Could have
I
been.
made that
I'm gonna
quote.
look it up. 'cause
Yeah, you do fact check that.
If I'm gonna
Well, so what? So listen.
correct Leo, it's got to be right.
But everything's going mental about this now.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, but there's other things. So now they're saying waving a Palestinian flag may be a criminal offense.
Yeah, because Hamas is designated a terrorist group.
Okay, so take away allegiances from Palestine and Israel, right? But now this is a free speech issue.
Yeah.
Because if you're waving a flag, now they're saying, oh, we're going to ban you from saying that or saying certain things. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, but I think if it's advocating support for a terrorist group, then,
But if they're
and
say-
also,
if
man,
they're saying-
you've got to look at how it's actually really being policed. I mean, if you look at
to
the
tell me- yeah, go on.
if you look at the reality, man, nobody can come out and say anything about, like, we can't say anything about Islamic immigration or Islamist attacks or grooming gangs or anything. You get immediately accused of being racist. And if you look at somebody like Katie Hopkins, you get your career taken away from you. Tommy Robinson, you get, they jump on you for any little infraction, like mortgage fraud. No, but
that's Muslims. That's not not
Palestinians.
Palestinians.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Like any sort of, but then the Palestinian side, the Palestinian supporters, can basically say whatever they want. We've seen how emboldened they are. They're coming out and saying the most horrific stuff in their protests. And bear in mind, these protests were happening. It's not like the protests were happening pretty much before any bombs had dropped on Gaza. Like, they were happening right when Hamas were slaughtering kids and stuff, and they were coming out and being like, they were basically celebrating it and cheering it on. So, man, there's a real two-tier justice system where Count Dankula, can't even make a joke. The exact same words can be said, and they really mean it, by Guardian readers.
So you're referring to so Leo's referring to, in Australia there were protests at the Sydney Opera House, and Palestinian supporters were actually actively saying, "Gas the Jews."
Yeah.
And and nothing happened to them, as opposed to when Count Dankula made a pug go "Gas the Jews" and did a Hell Hitler sign or whatever it was. Obviously a joke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mental, but that's not in the UK though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same. It's in the West, which is,
The best.
but I think we're seeing the end of Western civilization. I can see it right now. I can see it right now, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, why did nobody warn us? It's like, man, people have been warning you for like the last fucking 60 years that this is what's gonna happen. And like even now, like the woke ideologists, they're so set in their fucking ideology. They're like, oh no, Hamas are decolonizing. This is how decolonization works. All the BLM chapters have been like, oh, this is fantastic. They're slaughtering children. This is decolonizing. It's are you mental?
But I think you've got to separate Hamas from the Palestinians, right?
But the Palestinians elected Hamas.
Yeah, okay, I accept that, right? They did. But if you say I was Palestinian, I wouldn't bother voting, right? Let's be honest. A lot of them probably didn't bother voting, and they don't even know what they're voting for, right? They kind of do.
I think people.
But they don't deserve to be indiscriminately bombed and targeted by Israel.
I don't know. I think if the stakes work, you might get indiscriminately bombed by Israel. Then wouldn't you take more interest in politics?
No, I wouldn't. I'll be honest. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because I'm just trying. Look, I'm trying to come from my take on this. When I was younger, obviously I'm like super pro-Palestinian, but I've got older. I've kind of looked.
You're now 27.
At 27, I'm trying to look at both sides and be realistic, because it helps no one when you come on and you've got like fucking some woman from Novara Media and she's going, oh yeah, this is a day to celebrate or what? So what the fuck are you doing? You fucking idiot! This is like what I don't understand, and my conspiracy hat on is like this all. It's like me going up to Mike Tyson, punching him in the face. Then he's like, what the fuck did you do? And I punch him in the face again. He goes, are you mad? And I keep on punching him. Obviously, I'm going to get fucking killed, right? There's no win for this.
I reckon I could batter Mike Tyson.
He'd kill you.
No, he's old. He's past his prime.
He's probably the same age as you. But there's no... This whole situation makes no sense, right? Because there's nothing that why Hamas... Like, there's no way they can win this, but they're going into it like a war. So the only result.
Oh no, but they realistically could. I mean, if you look at the 6-Day War and the Yom Kippur, I mean, it wasn't like.
No, but the 6-Day War was different. So the 6-Day War, for those who don't know, was the Arab nations went up. All of them joined in, and that wasn't in Israel. That was in Egypt, and that was in the Golan Heights in Syria. So they only pushed them back out of their own. They didn't push them out of Israel. Israel had captured those lands and they pushed them off. It's a bit different, right? But now there's no way that.
But they wanted to wipe out Israel. It's not like they just wanted to recapture that land.
If you're flying in on a paraglider, you ain't taking over Israel.
But like the 6-Day War was, we've seen these repeated attempts to like wipe out Israel. And
the 6-Day War, Israel conquered Egypt, had conquered the Sinai, and they'd conquered the Golan Heights. Then on Yom Kippur, I believe it was, then they created this like surprise attack and they evicted them from their land, but not from Israel. That was from what they would call Greater Israel, right? They pushed them off, but wasn't part of Israel. But that's slightly different. But there's no way Hamas now, no matter what, can, what's the goal? So the only end goal of this is Hamas going in is going to end in Gaza getting bombed to shit and the West Bank getting bombed to shit.
But I mean, you say that, but I don't think it's that. I think it's more level because Hamas are backed by Iran, massive military power. They've also got backing from, and they're backing Hezbollah in the north, and also if the other, Arab nations get, because they've got the people, they've got to answer to the people, so they can't be too pally with Israel. And it also it's fucked up any sort of chance of because they were having this detente. I remember when I was out in Dubai, they were having They signed the sort of accords with the United Arab Emirates, and they're having more trade and travel and stuff between the two places. And they're doing the same thing with Saudi Arabia, and that obviously that's this is all really harmed by that, and that's part of why Hamas did it. But like if the Arab countries decide to all go in mob-handed, and bear in mind support for Israel is falling in America and it's falling in the West. And we've seen that. We've seen people openly, like a lot of people, especially the sort of lefty tastemakers who write for The Guardian and stuff, coming out and like openly supporting Hamas and like saying this is just an extension of basically the sort of Black Lives Matter, woke sort of indigenous people asserting their, asserting themselves, decolonizing themselves against a sort of oppressive colonialist power.
How would you resolve this situation? How do you think this situation gets resolved to there's like a whatever it is, it's not like a one stop, it actually sticks? What would you realistically?
Gaza gets its water from Israel. So you should put something in the water that turns everybody gay.
What was that called? What was it? Atrisaline or something like that.
Is there a thing that turns...
Yeah, the frogs.
The frogs.
Yeah, the frogs gay.
Then,
to be honest, most Palestinians are already...
We'll just have one big amorphous,
borderless
blob of
thing is,
Westernism.
The highest search of like gay porn is in the Muslim world.
Yeah,
and they're probably already gay.
When I was in Egypt, like staying at these guest houses, and there was a gay dude there from Australia, and he was like really sort of...
There was a gay dude.
He was obviously gay, you know what I mean?
What Leo means is when he was in Egypt, go on.
But he's like obviously gay. You know what?
Like Stephen Bailey.
Walking down the street and tell he's gay. And I said to him, is it not hard being in, because he'd been traveling through like Jordan and all these places. And I said, is it not hard being gay, like in the Middle East? And he was like, no, it's easier than
that'd be great.
Easier to get dick than back home, like because everybody's, and they don't see it as homosexuality. They see it as like a dude helping another dude.
if you're a bottom if you are a bottom, being gay in the Middle East is the greatest thing. Yeah, it's the greatest thing. Yeah, just get bummed and leave. This you have to call back. No one cares. No one's clingy. It's the greatest.
This is Darius' TripAdvisor review for the Middle East.
Come to Lebanon.
At least you're not getting your chest shit on.
What?
This is a random free speech podcast listener just adding their thoughts to this bit, which makes no sense. The Cleveland Steamroller.
Well, you never heard of what do you call all these girls you see on Instagram?
The Dubai.
Tag the sponsor.
Tag the sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the thing that Joe showed us? Where like
every time you see like a really hot girl like
on a yacht
posing in Dubai,
yeah,
you know she has this like 70-year-old sponsor who's dropping big dumps on her chest every night.
That's called a Cleveland Steamroller.
Yeah.
Apparently, he acts a Rose likes that.
Yeah.
He shits on the thing and then rubs his ass into it.
They got that thing. What do you call it? Tag. What do you call it?
Tag your sponsor.
Tag the sponsor. Yeah. So there's like a fake shake. He used to work for News of the World, but now he works on Instagram, like contacting all these like sort of wannabe Instagram models, sort of like hot 21-year-olds and stuff. And he's like, oh, do you want to come out to Dubai? I'll give you 10 grand and all this stuff. And
I'll shit on you.
Yeah, and he's like, do your friends want to come? And, there's a few things though. I've got to be able to pee on you and stuff. And
is it just fake?
And they have all the he's
see what they'll agree.
Oh yeah, but people do it for real.
Right.
Oh,
so
no,
I know that, but is he just doing it?
He's doing it fake, so he can then post on the
But there was someone that I've seen probably on Food. Reloaded.
Shut up about the food group.
Shut up about the food group. Well, I've seen them where these things have happened.
Yeah. We've all seen.
I don't know, but my conspiracy theory is that, and we spoke about this on the Patreon, is that, man, I don't understand how this has been allowed to happen, because if like a fucking fly farted on the border, fucking Israel would know about it, yet somehow this is a coordinated attack with proper weapons. These aren't homemade weapons. This is like how is this? And they had a 10-day warning, and now this has been allowed to happen. It seems like
they have M4s,
which are the American weapons,
the American military,
which they're also saying they come from Ukraine.
Nah, but that's bullshit. Because like, man, Ukraine isn't giving weapons to Hamas. That's a nonsense.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
maybe they don't have M4s.
They're armed by Iran, and also they've seized weapons from Israel. So which will have M4s and all the American equipment, because they're supplied.
But why do you think this is? So my thing is, I think, well, what I read is that this has been allowed to happen to start a bigger war against Iran. What do you say about that?
See,
Iran are definitely backing Hamas. There's no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, 100%, and Hezbollah. But there's no incentive for America to want a war against Iran at the moment, or Israel to want a war against Iran. It's like Israel was wanting to relax things and have a more of a sort of detente towards the and you'll know the West Bank aren't having these mass uprisings and aren't
the West Bank's
struggle.
Not Hamas though, is it? It's,
it's the Palestinian Authority or whatever they're called,
PLO.
Mahmoud Abbas or whatever. But like it's not in their interest of this war. I think this is just, and almost I think Hamas were like shit, like they were too successful than they thought they were going to be. And man, Hamas they're not fighting for any sort of defined political objective.
But that's what I'm saying. There's nothing they can. What are they doing? There's
they're
nothing
just
they
fighting
can
out of hate. They just want to
get revenge.
They just want revenge, and they want like their ideological hatred. It's written in their charter. The hatred they've got is nuts. They're not like trying to do it to like get more land or to get this or to get that. They're zealots.
I've got a question. The Suella Braverman has said the following phrase
She's
should
hot.
be. No, that's Pretty Patel.
Wait, she might be
Aren't
hot
they
to some
both hot?
people.
I thought they were both hot.
No, it's Pretty Patel. We discussed this on last week's episode.
jeez.
Who was hot? Who
Pretty
was hot?
Patel could be like, honestly,
Pretty
Pretty Patel
Patel
could
is
be a
hot.
model.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Maybe
Come on.
maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah, but she could be a like
But she still has that
she
like
could-
hot.
an older model.
Yeah.
A model for
You
what are
still
those
get them.
catalogs called that they use to buy shit?
Yeah.
On Marks and Spencer's
But
underwear catalog.
Apparently, older models.
That was the
'cause
porn of the
they
day.
had the thing. Like it was like all the models were like hot and young, and then they had older ones as well to like appeal to older people. But then with all the BLM stuff, how then everybody had to be like black and stuff or trans. the victim of that,
This is
the
dangerous.
victims were the older models. They were the ones who
Right.
got booted out.
So what you're saying
Got
is
the
old
hoof.
people are equivalent to trans and black people.
No, I'm saying old people were booted out to make space for black
well-
and trans people. Actually, black and trans sounds like black and tans,
What's tan?
which is it's
Black
the
and Tans.
Ireland.
Ireland.
I don't know
Irish
that.
history.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask something that they've
Oh, you were talking
about
about
Pretty's-
Israel. Oh, Pretty Patel.
no, but what we said
Before that.
Yeah, but I was
Oh, the conspiracy theory about it being a false flag, like a Pearl Harbor type thing.
Oh, yeah, I think it's to get into a bit larger war. I don't understand how Israel, they had 10 days notice from Egypt, called them up and told them
Yeah, but I
there's
think-
going to be a thing, there's going to be an attack or something's happening. I don't understand how they can go through the Iron Dome and all this attack and it still take place.
Well, I think they overwhelmed the Iron Dome because Iron Dome is just missiles. So if you've got, and this is why the Shaheds were so successful in Iran, because
What's a Shahed?
these Iranian drones that they bought, they're much cheaper than a cruise missile.
DJI Maverick 3.
Well, they're not, but they're basically powered by a moped motor, and but they can fire these things like hundreds at a time because they're so cheap and so shitty.
Yeah.
They just cost like 15 grand or whatever,
Which is nothing.
And they go slow, so that confuses. Like we're talking on the Patreon podcast, that confuses them because the missile defense radars are
Thinks they're
designed to
goose.
ignore things that go slow because it's like goose. But just the sheer number of them can overwhelm defenses. And also, if you're sending missile defense missiles up, those missile defense missiles cost a lot of money. So, it's the sort of the attritional...
Cost benefit analysis.
Yeah, totally. Because if you're firing...
I'm sending a 30 grand missile up for a £1,000 drone.
Yeah, or a 100 grand or, a 200 grand missile.
Actually,
up
yeah, probably
hit
about 200 grand.
15 grand drone. So, it's the same sort of... All these rockets that are basically sort of, homemade MLRs. I think they've got some...
What's MLR?
Like they've got these banks of missiles.
But what does it stand for, MLR?
I don't know.
Oh.
Multi...
That's an actual missile thing.
Maybe I made it up. Sometimes I make stuff up and nobody questions it, so I get away
But
with
I think, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, what do you think about Suella Braverman?
multiple rocket launcher. So it's when they got the banks like.
Okay, so it's not like a homemade
they
thing.
slot them all in. No, but the
So
Gaza ones kind of are a bit homemade.
MRL then, not MLR.
He's fact checking us again.
No, multiple launch rocket system (MLR).
Let us know how Tom is doing as a stand-in. He just turned up and now he's on the pod. So what? But as I'm going to ask you, what do you think about from a free speech issue?
Oh yeah, so the Iron Dome is designed to just deal with whatever
Like
comes.
missiles
But
and
if you
shit.
overwhelm it with thousands and thousands, then they're going to get through
but it's
because
a
you're going to run out of missiles to fire up.
Well, I was going to say about the paragliders and shit.
Another interesting thing, Israel has this laser system that costs pennies per thing, so they can fire a laser that can just superheat the missile and fuck it up.
Maui.
They're the same. I was just about to say the same
What's
lasers
Maui?
that
In Maui,
burned Lahaina.
in Maui,
Is that the people that are just walking down the corridor and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I feel wrong?
Oh no, that's cute. So in Cuba they did a sonic attack and everyone was vomiting.
Paint
In
the roofs
Maui,
blue.
they there was any houses that had their house painted the roof blue
Yeah.
didn't get like eviscerated for some reason in these massive forest fires or whatever they were. Allegedly. But then now they're saying it was a laser attack, and people, this sounds impossible. But then when you say, they've got lasers that can just shoot missiles out the air for nothing, this technology exists. We don't have it. My question though was a free speech issue, right? I'm trying to
about the flag.
Well, about the flag, but also stuff like apparently the phrase "from the river to the sea." Suella Braverman has said that's going to be an illegal phrase.
Yeah, that's like a death chant. That's a genocidal chant.
Okay, so here's my thing, and I might be naive on this, right? Because this is what my thought was about defund police, right? Because when I hear defund police, originally, I'm like, they mean, take off like their SWAT team guns and give them like handguns, right? So when I'm hearing from the river to the fucking sea, I'm hearing, Palestine, if there was a country, would be from the river to the sea, but the other side are saying no. What they're saying is with anyone who's Jewish from the river to the sea is in the sea.
Yeah.
So
eradicate.
Yeah, eradicate. So but this is the kind of the blurriness of how these words are used, and they don't mean what you think they mean. So I'm saying, is this a do you think this is a free speech issue? I think this might be a free speech issue.
Well, I think you've got to ask the people how they mean it, and I think if you ask those people,
because if I was to say from the river to the sea, my thought would be, Palestine would be from that border to that border, from the river to the sea as a border, but it wouldn't be like, push every fucking Jewish person out. That wouldn't be what I was thinking.
Right. Where would the Jewish people go?
But to Israel.
But so where's Israel if like?
Well, I don't fucking listen. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what the border of Israel looks like from the river to the sea. I'm not gonna lie to you and come here like I know geography. I don't fucking know what it looks like. I'm just telling you my ideas. I thought Israel was part. I don't even know what it looks like on the map. I know that the map's got bigger, but I don't actually know what it looks like.
Is that where the phrase "get in the sea" comes from?
It's a similar.
Do you remember a while ago, anyone that did anything that you didn't like, you were just like,
get in the sea. Yeah, can't say that now.
Big
So
fat,
Braverman's
I
big fat cunt, get in the sea.
Yeah.
But also I think this is being used by
It was pretty funny.
By our government to like, if we can ban them from waving a Palestinian flag, later on down the line they can ban certain other people from whatever it might be.
But you're already banned from waving an ISIS flag, which is why you took it down.
I can't buy my ISIS.
You took it down.
Am I not allowed to fly my ISIS flag anymore? This fucking looks cool.
You know what? It is actually cool. It looks like it's
cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's like a fucking pirate flag or something.
Well, so I don't know.
You know what? ISIS have turned around and said like, "Whoa, Hamas are nothing to do with ISIS."
Oh, really?
Yeah, these motherfuckers are nothing to do with us.
Pussies. Well, ISIS have pulled back.
Yeah, they've said like Hamas are like, they're barbarians and like they're nothing to do with us.
Oh shit!
And they hate, and even Iran, because like it's the Sunni Sunni Shia thing, like because Iran's Shia.
Yeah.
And like
don't
Hamas
look at me like I know. I like that you looked at me Iran's Shia, and I was like, I don't fucking know.
I'm thinking, I'm telepathically trying to. What are you?
I don't fucking know. Listen, I don't know.
Everyone has their limits.
I'm not.
So Hamas are on the other side. So it's like it's weird. All these like rivalries in the Middle East, and it's like they sort of gel on certain issues and not on others. And even like the Russia thing, man, because I think the Israel thing is like forced Russia to take a side. And Russia's sided with Hamas because it sees an opportunity to. But damage.
Russia's always been pro-Palestinian.
No, there's a lot of Israeli Russians. There's a lot of. Israel didn't come out and condemn. It didn't give weaponry. It didn't give Iron Dome technology to Ukraine. Which
really?
And that's when that happened. I was like, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, you should fucking help them out because you're going to be wanting some help at some point. And it's like, well, now they want some help. But yeah, man, I thought it was snide of Israel not to sort of help. But I can understand why. Like so many Russians are Israeli as well.
Mm. So, but so you think that should be a criminal? They should be allowed, or you should criminalize that, or
like I don't think flags should be criminalized. Basically.
So they should be allowed to wave the Palestinian flag.
But the thing is, we're in a situation where we've allowed
targeted harassment.
We've allowed a lot of people into the country that have attitudes and views and opinions that are really diametrically opposed to Western liberal democracy.
Fucking Irish.
What about the Gadsden flag for my American friends?
What's the
what's a
Gadsden?
Is that the
Don't
snake?
trick?
Yeah.
Don't tread on me. Some
That's
kid,
right.
some kid at school, he had that flag. It's like just a snake that says "Don't tread on me," and it's like a libertarian flag
Yeah.
or whatever.
Pretty much what it is, yeah.
And so it's not like offensive. It's not like ever been used to persecute anybody or anything like that. And he had it in his backpack, and his teacher was like, "That flag's offensive. You're banned from the fucking school and all that shit." And it's like, he would have been in a classroom surrounded by like the progress flag, the fucking pride, all these politicized flags that are used to like, sterilize and maim children.
I think over here we'd be like, that flag's fine because we don't really know what it doesn't mean anything to us other than what it says.
I have lots of friends in America,
Yeah,
and
I've got loads of friends as well.
so
They're in America too. Just in case anyone's wondering, I got loads of friends in America.
so I keep on top of this
And a
kind of
girlfriend.
stuff,
I got a girlfriend in America. Yeah, she's fit as well. I had sex with her in America. So
I had sex with her too.
what? In her anus. What?
Her anus.
I read that about the Gadsden flag. I mean, I don't know. This is a weird situation to be in. I don't know if I said this already on the pod. I just think it's the optics of this look awful when the pro-Palestinians, their PR is just awful. They come out, sweeties, and they celebrate. It's just not a good fucking look. But I want to know, what do you think? Like, how would you? I don't even know what the situation is. I think collectively,
Really, Darius?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Don Biz was on TikTok. Don Biz was like, here's my view on the Israel-Palestine situation. And I like you, Don, but no one cares. No one knows. I feel like
Wow.
cut this.
Wow, Darius is starting a feud.
Not
This is
with,
a new
with Don Biz
feud,
was.
new feud just dropped.
I really like Don Biz was.
My money's on Don.
Well, the Patreon is much better than this.
No, this is great.
Oh, is it? All right.
Oh,
then.
this is
Is that because I spoke more in the Patreon?
I think it's because I wasn't starting feuds with Don. I was going to get my ass kicked from Don and Stephen Wicks.
What were you going to say? What was your point? Oh, about the PR, the Palestinian
Oh, yeah,
PR.
Palestinian PR is just fucking awful. This is the difference between... This is what Islam, Muslim PR is the worst of the fucking worst, right? Because Hamas, Hezbollah, terror, whatever, will kill someone, right? And next thing you know, we cut to the Palestinians in the street partying. Sweeties for all, celebrate, and that'll be the video of it. Like, wow, look at these blood. Then Israel will kill Palestinians, but then the next thing will be like a spokesperson in a suit and tie, look like a white guy. Oh, this is terrible. We're really sorry for it. And everyone's in look, it was an accident.
Yeah, because they're really sorry.
Well, I doubt that.
Because they're not barbarians. This is the
doubt-
thing,
Wow.
man. It's a civilizational battle, man. And like the West doesn't realize what it's done to itself, and it's not so much the immigration.
I think that the
culture of different
language
people.
of the
Man,
language of calling Palestinians, what did the guy say? Barbarian animals is awful.
Can I go for a pee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean you've contributed a lot. Go on. Marketer Tom is going for a pee. Here's the new Nico. Get us a beer as well.
Yeah, well.
Oh, actually, there's no time. We've almost run out of time. Don't crash. Don't
Wait,
crash.
you've opened up the green bit.
If we put up the green bit
Do you want
now,
to pull the green bit?
the
Perfect.
cheapest one, good one.
I don't need a beer. I'm
Actually,
okay.
maybe I shouldn't have a beer.
Are you gigging?
No,
All right.
I'm gonna go gym. What were we talking about? We didn't.
So yeah, you're saying how like Palestinians being called animals, man. Like Palestinians obviously aren't animals, but Hamas are barbarians, and Hamas have got a lot of support across the Muslim world. I'm not saying all Muslims, but I'm saying like if we import people who support Hamas, who have these values into Western civilization, and they're not going to be like they're incompatible with Western civilization.
No, I.
and I'm
You don't
like,
have to tentatively say that. I agree
no,
with
but
you
you
100%.
kind of do because, like, man,
No,
I'll be going
100
to jail. Labour are getting in next year. I'll go to jail for saying that. You know what I mean?
I 100% agree with you. There's a reason why the Ariana Grande concert happened, right?
Is that an area of Israel?
No,
Ariana Grande Trench.
no, remember the Ariana Grande concert where the guy blew up?
Right, yeah, Manchester.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason that happened, right? Because that guy came in. He was from
Libya.
Right?
Yeah. Well, he's born here, but he'd actually gone back to Libya to fight or something. But then the Royal Navy rescued him from Libya.
So he got rescued. He's come in as a Muslim immigrant, already in his heart, like oppositional to the UK.
Yeah.
He sees the UK as a back of Israel or whatever, or of the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
So for him to blow up a concert full of school children,
horrific.
But for him, he just sees them as justifiable targets.
Yeah.
So
and now so do all these woke people.
So so my point to you is I agree with you. It's diametrically opposed. But all that's going to happen now is that Gaza is going to be blanket bombed, right? Hamas going in there, the reality is what's going to happen is Gaza, as much as Israel is going to try and target, there's nowhere for them to go. It's going to be so many civilians killed. All it's going to do is create, amongst all the Muslim world, so much animosity and hatred that that why people here should be offended, should be fucking angry, is that we're gonna be like, you're gonna be riding the bus and you got to be fucking looking over your shoulder 7-7 style. That didn't happen because they wanted to just. That happened due directly because of what was happening in Iraq and as a repercussion of the foreign policy. And all this is just
happened directly as a result of bringing people into the country.
Yeah, but it allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
But it get like these people are here, but if nothing's happened, but now this is giving them the impetus and drive. And they're still in their communities, and that's gonna happen. But people coming in, and I'm like, so it's so nuanced. But the people coming in, as soon as they see this and they see what they consider an injustice, then they see everyone as legitimate targets.
Yeah.
So if you're not worried about, and this is a far away, this doesn't affect us, and you're not bothered about what's happening in Israel, Palestine, and you're dissociated, like you're on TikTok, whatever, what you need to understand is this affects you because you're going to be riding to work one day and you don't know. I was working for Transport for London when this happened.
Yeah.
And it was suddenly like, I was like, all the buses and tubes are stopped. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought it was a fault. And then it was like, there's been a bomb on the tube. There's been a bomb on the bus. There's been a bomb. And these people, and then also, even if you're not even on the bus, you might just look suspicious, be getting the tube at Stockwell, Jean-Charles de Menendez, and get shot by fucking some useless UK police who don't know how to fucking do a suspect background check, and killed. So this actually has direct repercussions.
And it's not just that. We've got it's a growing portion of the UK. Like we've got the sort of replacement of you shouldn't use the word replacement because that's apparently a conspiracy theory.
A huge Muslim. Listen, let's be honest. There's a huge Muslim community in the UK, right?
Population,
and 99.9% support Palestine, right? And 99.9% support aggressive, like fucking aggressive, like violence is justified.
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
And by 2050, it's going to be the biggest religion in the UK. And
it's going to be the biggest religion in the world.
And biggest religion in the world. And so the issue isn't just going to be like random terror attacks. The issue is going to be your government is going to be these people.
That was seamless.
The whole, everything cultural, everything. Like we're moving away from Western liberal democracy, and we're moving towards this new world that people warned us about, and they were decried as
But we've discussed this before, and I said part of this problem was because, at least in the UK, we weren't strong enough on our own values. I'll go and build a mosque, do that. It's like, no, you got to fucking fit in. You got to. You live here, do what you want, but you got to assimilate, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to Saudi Arabia, you go around looking for a church. There's no church. You ain't finding a church on a Sunday, right? So there's that assimilation thing. But I think this is only going to backfire on us, even though we're not even there. Nothing to do with it. We live in London. Now this is going to be a target.
Yeah.
And then stuff like waving the Palestinian flag. Now that's going to be seen as provocative, and that's another whole free speech issue that could be. There's so many nuances and moving things and tangents going on in this whole situation. And I think we're just like, and now as well, this could be, Hamas have supplied them with weapons. You can feel the beating drum for war in Iran. And if that happens, then we're even in more jeopardy.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be war with
obviously,
Iran. But actually, there's already been an airstrike on a convoy going between coming up from Iran. So
Really?
there's already like a soft war going on. There's already special forces like doing stuff. But man, I don't think there's going to be open war between. The thing is, Iran, all these places, like even Saudi Arabia, all these places, we're having a more, like the West was more open to them, and we're becoming more sort of in tune with them. And Hamas have sort of done this to fuck it all up. You know,
Yeah, they stopped the peace
they're like,
thing. But the problem was
because
is
they
that-
knew, like, you know, Hamas were going to get sidelined and we're going to have less power when, you know, when all these bonds were formed, you know, between Saudi Arabia with Iran. I mean, recently, America is seen as, you know, giving Iran 6 billion or 7 billion or whatever. It's not as simple as that, but because, you know, because of Russia and because of everything else, because we want Iranian oil now, so we don't get Russian oil. There was a bit more of a sort of detente,
What does detente mean?
sort of more chilled outness,
Chilled out.
talking.
Well, I think it's still a free speech. I think on all of that, it's a free speech
Yeah,
issue to waive the
But
Palestinian.
if I'm
flag.
looking at what happened over the last like 4 days, I'm not like, oh my god, this is a free speech issue. I can't wave a Palestinian flag. It's like there's other, like you already couldn't wave fucking ISIS flags and various
I
other
know.
flags.
I was just bringing that up
Yeah.
as a point,
Yeah.
as an interesting thing that's happening.
But I think the West is like destroying itself from within. If you look at what the young people are doing, like all the universities in the States and stuff, or the universities in this country as well, the BLM stuff and all the stuff that the young people support and wank off over. They're
I'm
all,
a young person.
They're all like pro Hamas. They're all like coming out being like,
Are
this
they
is-
pro Hamas or are they pro Palestinian? There's a
100
difference.
No, they're pro fucking Hamas. BLM tweeted a thing with the guy in the parachute, you know, with the
paraglider, yeah, that
comes
was
in like
nuts.
to kill the people at the music festival. These like kids dancing at a music festival. You know what I mean? It could be like, you know, any kids from, you know, across Europe.
Could
or
have been
America.
us when we were in Bali.
when we're
All fucking
young
on
and cool.
mushrooms.
Yeah,
Oh,
When
your
we-
mushroom story from Thailand?
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Couldn't find.
What was our mushroom story from? Well, we couldn't work out a straight road.
Yeah, couldn't
Yeah.
find it. Yeah.
And
Ima-
the witches in the ocean.
Oh yeah, they did look like witches in the ocean. They were probably really fit as well.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Can I try a bad joke?
Go on then. Listen. That's what we do. Try it, please.
Okay, so with all the wokeness that's going on right now, you were talking about the special forces.
Yeah.
How long do you think it's going to be before special forces are manned exclusively by Down syndrome people?
We've already cancelled.
Because they're special.
That's a terrible joke.
I know. That's what I said.
Did you hear about the
You can
Paris
bleep it
bed
out,
bug
you can bleep it out.
infestation? We're not going to bleep it out. Have you heard about the Paris bed bug
shame me.
I
infestation?
have heard about the Paris.
Did
bed
you know it
bug
was started by a
infestation.
nerd on 4chan?
What is it? Just a made-up thing?
No.
What do you mean?
This guy on 4chan, right? He was, and I'll post the story. I'm gonna find it. He was so he hates the French so much. He sat in his apartment in France, and he cultivated billions of bed bugs, and then he unleashed them all in Paris.
What?
And he posted this
Why does he live in
months
France?
5 months before this happened. So 5 months ago in like March, he posted a story saying, I'm gonna post these I'm building bed bugs to cripple Paris because I hate French people so much. And 5 months later it's happened.
Well, this
So
is real.
Well, he posted 5 months ago saying I'm growing these things, I'm gonna do this. Bed bugs are gonna cost them
Why
a
does
billion.
he live in Paris if he hates French people?
No,
What
he's just gone traveled there. I'll
What
find the story. Hold
What
on.
nationality was he?
I don't know. American bed
Hamas.
bags. Let me see if I can find the story. Bed
Bed
bugs.
bags.
Reddit. 4chan bed bugs. Reddit.
Oh, he was a 4chaner that did it.
Yeah, it was on 4chan. And here it is. Oh, not this one. I'll find it and post it. But he started it. This one
So he
guy.
grew bed bugs. How do you grow bed bugs? They need to feed off human blood.
Did he? I don't fucking know how you grow.
Maybe
bed
he
bugs.
gave himself up for sacrifice.
Yeah, were
But
they feeding
apparently
off him?
he 5 months ago he said my plan is to grow bed bugs and then unleash them on Paris, and he did it.
You're very thin on detail in this story.
All right, well I'm gonna find you talk while I look
All
for
right,
the story.
Well,
It
Paris
sounds like a poor man's Bill Gates unleashing millions of mosquitoes.
4chan.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. Let me have a look.
I have a
Hold on.
systematic plan to infect Paris with
Oh,
bed
you found
bugs.
that pretty quick. How did
Yeah.
you find that?
Because I use Google.
All right, that's good.
Instead of
Yeah,
just
read it to us and send me the
reading.
link as well, and we'll
Hey,
post it on the story.
You know what else I'm doing? I'm rejecting all the cookies.
Yeah. Oh, what happens when you reject a cookie?
Reject. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing.
Well, fuck you. We're gonna reject your cookies.
You know, I had bed bugs.
Oh, what?
Yeah, when Louis' flat in Edgware Road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, it was brutal because like I was sleeping there in the bed, and I never got anything. And then remember that lassie I was seeing at the time.
Yeah.
So she lived in Glasgow, and she came. That's a flying bed.
Oh, the biggest cat in the world?
No, that's the biggest cat. That's my wife's cat.
No, in Glasgow.
Oh yeah, no, that is a big cat. No, my wife had a bigger cat.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, bigger than that.
Avoid making a joke. That black cat in Glasgow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
My wife had a what's it called? It's got a. It sounds racist. Maine Coon.
Don't know what that is.
Massive
Do you
cat.
want to hear the most racist cat
No.
name?
No.
No.
Okay, I won't say what it is, but look up H.P. Lovecraft's cat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we won't say that. I know the name of that.
Everyone else can look it up, and then
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say it.
This is why we don't invite fans on to the podcast. Do you want to hear the most
said
racist
I'm
thing I
not-
can think of? No. Let me tell you how to find out.
I said I'm not gonna say it.
You
but
put
you
it in
can
our
look-
mind.
You can look it up.
Anyway, go on. Say what you're saying, Leo.
So yeah,
You're fired.
honestly, the Maine Coon, it's got like the tufty ears like a mountain lion, and it like this thing was massive. But it's
Is this
nothing-
the
They're
Indian girl
beautiful.
from
They're
Glasgow?
beautiful cats.
the what?
The Indian girl.
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
That was the biggest cat I've ever seen.
No, that was a smaller cat than
To this one.
to this one. Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
yeah. But that was Shadow, big
Yeah,
cat.
that was.
Yeah,
That was
it
like
was
a
big
dog.
cat.
It was like a dog. It was like a lion walking in. A panther. It
Yeah,
was terrifying.
I'm not joking, man. If you saw this this other cat,
Yeah.
like the big cat Shadow, even though it was a big cat, man, I'm not joking. Like maybe 2/3 the size.
I
This-
think big cats are scarier than big dogs.
Yeah.
Cougar.
Yeah, although dogs have got that mad thing, they're all muscle sometimes.
No, but that fucking shadow cat was all muscle.
Yeah,
That was a fucking. It sat on you and like, wow, I can't get up.
yeah.
And I'm
Man, I
terrified.
wish you'd seen this other cat, this Maine Coon. It was like honestly, like it was like bigger. It was like a person. It was like so big. It was so
How
insanely
much did
big.
it eat?
I can't remember, but
Shit.
I've got no sphere of reference because I don't know how much cats eat. But yeah, the bed bugs. So my girlfriend at the time, that Indian lassie, came down and she was getting all these like spots all over her body, and she's like, I must be allergic to something or whatever. And then the next day more, and the next day more, and I
You're
was
giving
like,
it 8.
and we were like, fuck, what is this? And then we went in the I was like, I flipped up the mattress to see if there was, because we were starting to work out what it was, and man, I freaked out. It's like, man, because bed bugs aren't small. They're not like
really?
a tiny little mite, man. These things are like they're like a noticeable, like the size of a wasp or
Like
something.
an ant.
Bigger than an ant.
Oh, really?
Man, these things are big. These are like a
I thought they
wood,
were invisible.
like a woodlouse.
Shit.
They're like a woodlouse, maybe even bigger than a woodlouse. And oh man, they're all sitting there, all like, a bit like a cockroachy style thing. Man, horrific. I was like, man, I freaked out. And also impossible to get rid of.
How'd you get rid of
I
it?
had to dismantle, like, I had to get this diatomaceous dust. I had to get
that?
chemicals and stuff. It's just dust, and apparently it gets into their joints and stuff, and like gums them all up and stops them moving. And also it's because then I slept on this like little bed, and I just made a like pile of dust, like how you make a pile of ashes when you're camping to stop insects getting
Or like a
getting-
rope to stop snakes.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. And so I had that around the bed to stop them getting on. I had all the legs of the bed in a like little tub of this diatomaceous dust, and then chemicals as well. And also I just had to dismantle, because it was a fabric bed frame, bed box thing. The main one, I had to just...
This was in the double bedroom, the main room.
I bought a saw off Amazon and sawed it up and put it down the rubbish chute. And it took me fucking ages.
What, in Louis' house?
Yeah. And I replaced it with a like...
So you had to buy a new bed for Louis?
I already had a bed frame. That I
Did you
just
tell
stuck
him
in
that he had bed bugs?
there. I don't know.
Louis, if you're listening to this, you owe Leo a bed frame
No, he doesn't.
for your bed bug ridden. Remember when we turned up? That was a fun. Was that when we turned up and there were the gangsters in there?
I think you went on. Oh yeah, I remember. I went round. There's a gangsters there, but I just waited, and then I was like, you're gonna go though, and like, because they were squatting there.
Man, so during lockdown, our friend Louis, he's got a flat, and these guys wouldn't leave because it was during lockdown. And then
Apparently they did it in a lot of flats. So basically, he was doing it in short lets to like gulf
Yeah, so what were they doing? What was the story?
Short-lived business people, but obviously, like, if you're a golf business person, you're probably going to be like the equivalent of the Sopranos. But so as soon as they changed the laws, so you couldn't evict people.
Yeah.
So then these gangsters were just like, well, we're not fucking going.
And then not paying rent.
Not paying rent and dealing coke from there. You went round and.
Well, then Lou went, listen, if Leo needs somewhere to stay, he can stay at my flat. Just go around there. I turned up at this flat thinking, I'm just going to get Leo to move into this flat in like London. And I go in there, some gangster, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck are you? Get out. And then they're like, there's like 4 goons. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not going to fucking fight over Louis' flat. I don't even know. I had to call it, but it was fucked. I don't even know how we got them out there in the end. Can't remember how.
He did a deal with them.
Oh, did he?
He gave them money, I think. But even then, because he'd done it before, I think. And then they took the money.
Because they took the money and they moved back in.
They moved back in, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So Louis paid them off and they went, okay, we've left. And then as soon as he didn't have anyone to move in, they moved back in.
Yeah.
Then then he's tried to send me to say, hey, you got to get out. And they were like, no, we're going to kick your fucking head in. And I went, yeah, I'm not fighting for your flat. So you better pay them again.
Yeah. And then, like, because they were worried they weren't going to go again. And, like, so I went round to sort of sit in the flat to, like, make sure it was secured and stuff. But the guy wasn't, I was a bit like, man, what if they want to fight me or whatever? But then the guy didn't want to fight me. He just, like, he was just, and even when I hustled him, like, he just sort of was all like, yeah, okay, I'll go.
That seems so long ago now.
Yeah. That's
and it was ridden with bed bugs.
No, well, I didn't know until looked under the mattress because my girlfriend was getting all these bites.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was.
And what did she say? Was she not,
she
not disgusted at the squalor you were living in?
And she was all like, oh man, yeah.
I'm never coming to London again.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, to that, we just stayed in hotels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was over lockdown and stuff, so yeah.
It was cheap.
Yeah, actually it was. I remember I stayed. A few times we just booked into this place in Chelsea, and it was like 600 quid for like a week or something.
There's no one there.
Because, nobody was around, so it was cheap.
That's fucked up. Listen, before we go, because we've done almost an hour, is there anything else we should be talking about?
What else was in the thing?
We were going to talk about Canada's podcast regulations.
What was that? I wanted to, when you're introducing all these topics, I was like, what is that?
So basically now, what they've done in Canada is they've said that going forward, if you want to have a podcast suppliers, i.e. Spotify, need to register with the Canadian government, and they're saying that they're going to be able to I mean, obviously I never actually read it, but the top line conspiracy level of it is that they're going to be able to censor what you say on podcasts, and if you don't, they're going to be able to stop your providing.
Right.
But either way, you have to register to have a podcast in Canada now.
Right, with the government.
Yeah, with the government. Like, why are you bringing registration? So they want to kind of bring like an Ofcom in for podcasts.
Yeah,
it'll just be pirate radio all over again.
Yeah, won't people? Surely there's going to be easy ways around this.
We hope so.
Yeah, but there obviously is going to be. There's always easy ways around. There's an easy way around. I'm not having a fucking TV license. Just don't pay for it.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'd do.
Yeah, obviously that's why no one pay for a TV license. But the point is, there's these rules in place that can be used for certain things. So they could say, oh, for example, you've got a podcast. Oh, it's not going to dictate what you say. But say Joe Rogan is saying something on his podcast that the government's against, but he hasn't actually said anything per se that could be cancelled. Well, they could say, but Free Speech is also on Spotify, and Darius said this most outrageous shit, so we're taking Spotify down for the podcast, so you cancel Joe Rogan that way.
Right.
So they can cancel, they want to cancel you, but you've not said anything, but they can cancel the whole thing because he said something.
But that's like something they do in China.
Welcome to Trudeau, baby. Welcome to Trudeau.
Fuck Trudeau.
Is it good? Are you happy with your president, prime minister?
No, he's a cunt.
What do you think about Pierre Paulet or whatever he's called?
He's kind of a tit as well. Looks like Milhouse from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Is it The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Milhouse?
Yeah, and also he's not like, he's sort of like the right-wing opposition, but it's sort of like...
Trudeau is the son of Fidel Castro.
The Canadian government had to come out and give an official statement saying he's not. Have you seen that? He looks exactly like him.
That means
when
he
the
definitely is.
government, when the government comes out with an official statement saying this is not the truth.
Also, people
truth.
don't understand the sexual magnetism of Fidel Castro. He shagged a lot of like
dude, have you seen the pictures?
America sent a spy to kill him. This like Mata Hari type spy to kill him. and he ended up shagging her.
But
That's the sort of the charisma of this man. Terrible.
seduced
You
it.
only got to see
Terrible politics.
you only got to see the pictures of Trudeau's mother dancing around, getting the eyes from
Yeah.
Castro, and then you see later on
Castro
him
GTX.
like
Ye-
Castro, hugging
What?
Justin, like grabbing his biceps, like he's like my son, my son.
Yeah.
Well, you know
It's
what?
so obvious.
What I saw an interesting comment.
You hear
is
that,
like,
Justin?
Is like women when they're young, they're looking for guys in the club and they got like fucking muscles and they look good. But then when they see guys who like work in finance and they got fucking money and they go VIP, as soon as they've gone with
And
one of
they're
those
fat.
finance guys, they never look at muscles again. They're looking for power and
fat.
status.
Is
Well,
that why you've lost your muscles and you're trying to get power and status?
I've got nothing now. I have neither power, status, nor muscles.
And a
I
beer
won't-
belly.
I don't have you fat shit. Shut the fuck up. Come on my podcast.
I got a
You're,
bit-
you're shitty fucking
I got a
mostly
beer belly.
peaceful. Yeah, you've got beer belly. All right.
Ah.
Don't disgust our
That's us getting
audience.
flagged.
Yeah, that's us flat or what? I don't know.
Well, you're not gonna get monetized anymore.
I don't know, but I can believe it.
Yeah.
Power and status, women.
Wait,
want
what about
more.
the sugar thing? You said something about
Oh,
sugar. World sugar.
There's a
shortage.
world sugar shortage apparently. So apparently there's a sugar shortage happening. They can't grow enough because in America they ban them from growing sugar due to the amount of
fat people.
no, due to the cost. Due to the cost it costs to grow sugar cane and do it due to climate change, they've banned sugar. So now there's been a sugar shortage, which is raising the cost of sugar. So all sweets and stuff are becoming more expensive. But it's the same. It's like in Holland, they stopped the farmers fucking being
Making
able to
meat.
farm all their food and all the produce is all going up. So it's all just kind of like every little story is also interconnected if you kind of stop and look at it. Why is this happening? Why is that happening?
Well, yeah, because
But no one needs sugar.
In the Netherlands, it was to meet the EU climate change obligations. They had to reduce emissions, and the only way to do that was to like stop all these like farmers grow like with their meat, their animals, cattle, pigs, whatever.
They did that in
these
like
are
Indonesia as well or
Yeah,
somewhere.
these are farms that have been going for like hundreds of years, and also like the market's in an equilibrium. You know what I mean? This amount of people want to buy the stuff, and this amount of people want to sell it. So like you cut the supply. All of a sudden, you're boosting inflation, crazy amount, and also causing a overthrow of the government. Because then all these farmers come out and like, listen, they're fucking you
But
over.
we were never a population that was raised on sugar
Yeah.
until after the Second World War.
Or the
Everyone, as
when
soon
sugar
as you say
when
you
sugar
can't
started-
get some in,
So what
when
this
sugar started being brought back from like the West Indies and stuff, it did actually spur economic development because people could work for longer. They had more calories.
so this is the
so
story.
it was a
pretty
drug
mad.
basically.
Yeah. It's like I'm in a line.
But when World War II was happening, nobody could get sugar.
right.
Sugar
Well,
became a luxury.
Right. right.
Hold on. So now
Right.
I've got it. So sugar prices are up 42% since 2022.
Wow.
And what they're saying is world sugar shortage due to extreme weather is threatening Halloween candy prices.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
But it's basically another thing about climate change and how this is going.
Yeah, like when you got, like, what are sugar puffs called these days? They're not called
they're
sugar
honey
puffs,
puffs.
anymore.
Are they honey
right?
puffs now?
I thought they were always honey puffs.
No, sugar. It used to be sugar puffs. It was
They
the-
used to be
with the
because
honey monster.
all the cereals had sugar in the title because it made them sound
Yeah.
luxury. Because after World War II, when everyone had spent like a couple of decades or a decade or whatever not being able to get sugar, it became a luxury item.
What's your favorite cereal?
Oh, fuck.
I know Leo's.
What is it?
Honey nut cornflakes with full fat cream milk.
They're quite
Gold top.
nice. Yeah. You know, I
That
haven't
does
eaten them in
sound good.
years.
What is your favorite cereal then?
I don't have cereal.
Yeah, I know why well, no one does, but if you
Well,
did,
the crunch nut cornflakes.
that's what I just said.
Yeah.
I got it right.
I haven't had them in years though.
Yeah, but it's still your favorite.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
We have this weird like hemp granola in Canada. That's really good.
You fucking
Makes me
woke
sound like
cunt.
such a hippie. Because
Hemp.
I only pour it into Greek yogurt as well.
Oh wow!
Is it really crunchy?
It's fucking awesome.
Is it crunchy?
It tastes so good.
How much
It's
does
a
it
little
cost?
crunchy, yeah.
Is it not that crunchy?
It's about $7 a box.
Is that a lot?
How much is a
I
Canadian
think it
dollar
is,
to a
yeah.
pound?
Fuck. So we get Honey Nut Cheerios. They are $12 a box.
Whoa.
So this
which is
cheaper
probably
than
about
Honey
£8 a box.
So this is cheaper than Honey Nut Cheerios. It's
Probably,
$7.
Yeah, but it's a way smaller box.
What?
It's like half the size.
I think
like
we
half
need
the
to go
size.
in a
Do we
minute.
need to go?
They're coming.
They're coming.
Listen, talking about hemp, granola. You should use the code 3SP on highpoint.care for 10% off all your CBD needs. They got gummies.
CBD.
Highpoint.care. You've had some of them. You think they were great?
No, I haven't.
No, it's good quality.
It's just
It's-
lying. So you've had them.
They didn't bring me any, so I have not tasted them.
He's tasted them and he agrees they're great.
But they genuinely is.
Actually, they really are. But we've run out now because we ate them all
I
ourselves. instead of
trust.
sharing
I
them.
trust that they are good,
I mean, don't trust us.
and it sounds good. High Point.
Yeah.
Highpoint.care.
CBD.
Use code 3SP. They got gummies. They've got creams for like deep heat, relaxing. They've got fucking.
The best things are these pills that give you all the like CBD you need.
Did you take them?
Yeah,
And
man.
did they work?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And yeah, genuinely, like, because I used to be a big stoner. Obviously, I don't
Yeah.
smoke weed anymore because it's illegal, and I believe in the government.
He's
But-
a right-wing commentator.
But no, I think weed is like makes you lazy and like it's not good for your brains and stuff. But CBD is different.
Highpoint.care has no THC and won't make you
No-
lazy.
no
Just the
THC.
benefits.
It's just the CBD bit, which is the bit you actually want.
Which is
It
the-
relaxes you. It like expands your mind a little bit, but just enough.
Just enough, but enough
Just
to
enough
make you
to-
proactive.
Just enough to trust the government a bit more.
Yeah, just the government.
CBD.
Okay. Never inviting a fan on again. I think we've covered most of
Yeah,
it.
we've covered everything.
Listen, I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. Leave a comment, leave a review. Someone left us a review saying, that it was shit, and that hurt my.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that hurt, frankly,
expecting
that hurt my
comments.
feelings
What
because
on
I'm trying.
YouTube?
I think it was on Apple.
Right.
Who was that Tom guy? He was a fucking shithead.
Yeah, listen, thank you, Tom, for coming and joining in. You came to give us a bunch of whiskey. You've now been a guest on the pod. Have you enjoyed your Make-A-Wish?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it very much.
Yeah? Good.
And thank you so much. It's been a dream of mine
Well, you've got low
to
dreams.
meet Leo.
Well, me, I'm fucking right here. I'm literally right here.
Bye.
Bye.